Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner. I'm a freelance medical copywriter and a copywriting mentor. And today I want to talk to you about running an online business for the first time and give you a roadmap to success. Running an online business is a whole new world for a lot of people. You know, most of us grew up in the traditional 9 to 5, go to college, get a degree, find a job, work at a company forever, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll have a great retirement plan. And the thing is that's not really working out for a lot of people. So what's happening, and also because of the internet and technology, is more and more people are choosing to run businesses online. It can give you freedom to work from anywhere, and freedom to kind of grow your business. And also the barrier to entry is so much lower, because there are a lot of online businesses you can start and a lot of careers you can start that don't require a ton of upfront investment costs. You know, when you wanted to start a business back in the day, it was usually a brick and mortar location. You had to get a location, you had to fill it with things, you had to employ people, and that requires a ton of investment, and it's really difficult. Now with the internet, you can have a business that's completely online, and basically all you need is a computer to run it. So there are a lot of online businesses. I obviously focus on copywriting as a career choice, and I love it. It's given me seriously a life beyond something that I could have ever imagined. You know, I had big dreams for myself, but every year I continue to invest in my skill set as an online business owner, and it has just blown my mind at the opportunities that are out there. So I want to talk about giving people some insights about what it's like to actually be an online business owner, because it's definitely scary. It's scary, it's exciting, and it is hella confusing. You know, when I was first starting out, I was just like, where do I begin? And that's generally most people's first question, where do you even start? The good news is there is an insane amount of resources online. So many resources. People are constantly sharing their stories, the way that they did it. And there's just a lot of opportunities to learn. I really believe that the answer to any question you might have about this and, you know, starting an online business, especially in whatever area you decide is for you, is out there. There's so many resources, and there's so many people who are, you know, succeeding in it themselves and then going on to teach other people. So open your mind to the possibilities, and you will be amazed at what you can find. And that is a huge thing to start with, is starting with an open mind. If you're going to run an online business, you are a forever student. You're always learning. And honestly, that's one of the things I love about it the most, because I get to constantly learn. I get to choose what I learn, and everything that I invest in myself and in my business, it is, you know, those rewards are passed on to me. And it's really, really amazing. So yeah, it's scary. The great thing is a lot of these online businesses, and especially copywriting, you can start alongside your full-time job. You can get your feet wet before you make the actual plunge. So there's definitely a chance to try it out, see if it's not for you, see if it is for you. And of course, it's super exciting, but I know it can be confusing. So that is the first feeling that most people get when they start an online business, is kind of, what the hell am I actually doing? So what are some of the pros of running an online business? Financial freedom. You know, there's not really a cap on the amount of money that you can make when you work for yourself and when you work online. Also, as I mentioned before, a major benefit is that you don't usually need a ton of money to get started. Another huge benefit, and one that I actually is probably my favorite, is location independence, the ability to work from anywhere. You know, I really love to travel. I haven't counted, but I've been to probably over 20 countries. Almost all of them I've spent more than a month in, and I've been able to do that largely because I can work from anywhere. But for me, a huge part of location independence that I really love, and a huge benefit, is that I can really be there for my family. I don't really have to say no to anything anymore. My granddad, you know, just celebrated his 70th birthday. Oh my gosh, his 90th birthday. Whoa, 20 years off. His 90th birthday. It was almost their 70th wedding anniversary. But his 90th birthday, my whole family wanted to go and celebrate with him at their little house on the Potomac River in Maryland. But following that, my family was going to go to our annual beach trip in North Carolina. And all of my siblings were like, okay, well, let me sort out how many days off I have this year and if I can come down and if I can do that. And, I need to make sure I have enough days for Christmas and things like that. And obviously I wasn't, lucky me, but to myself, I was just had a moment of serious gratitude when they were all having that conversation where I was like, wow, I don't have to deal with that anymore. I can go, I can, take the time off I need, but also I can work a little bit here and there. And it was so enjoyable, There was a couple days where it was just me and my grandparents because everybody had to go back to their jobs. And I got to get a little work done and eat lunch with them and then go back and do a little bit more work. And so for me, being there for my family, not having to say no to family events is a massive motivator for me. Freedom in your scheduling, that kind of goes hand in hand. That is huge. I just don't really have to say no to anything anymore. Obviously, there are times when that still happens, life gets in the way. But for the most part, I generally don't have to say no to anything I want to do anymore, which is just my favorite absolute benefit of having an online business. And then my other, huge favorite part of being a copywriter and an online business owner is the sense of pride it has given me. And it wouldn't make total sense unless you heard about how when I was, I've had I was like as a research associate, and even I was even an event planner for a little bit, and then went back to being a server. And for all of those jobs, even though there's nothing wrong with them and they are great jobs, when I would go to like parties or meet new people and they would say, that inevitable question, what do you do? I would just get like this knot in my stomach where I was like, I don't want to tell people what I do, it was like, it's because, and it was nothing wrong with the job itself, but it was because I knew it wasn't quite where I should be. And I felt like I had more to give the world than what I was giving. So something that has happened for me in running an online business is just like being proud of what I do. Now when somebody asks me what I do, I am genuinely excited to tell them about it, and I feel like I'm where I should be. I'm proud of what I've created. It makes getting out of bed in the morning so much easier. And I really love the confused look on their face when I say I'm a copywriter and they think it's copyright law or they think I copyright things, and I explain to them what it is. Like, I enjoy that conversation so much. And actually, one of my favorite student testimonials, somebody reached out to me via email not too long ago, and she explained very similar feelings. She used to be so insecure about going to functions with her husband because, she would talk to these people and they had, I don't actually know what he did specifically, but she would be embarrassed to tell them what it was she did for work because she felt like she had more to offer the world than that job. And it's so much of our identity, what we do for work. Sometimes it's the very first question people ask us. And so she used to really be down on herself. And now through copywriting and being an online business owner, she was telling me that at those functions, she's so excited when people ask her that. And she shared with me that she actually danced for the first time at one of those events with her husband because of this newfound confidence. And she hadn't danced with her husband in like 10 years. So those are the kinds of feelings that can come from being your own boss. And it is really an incredible feeling. So what are the cons? The cons, I'm all about like shifting your perspective. So cons are a little bit of a strong word, but like with every job comes its struggles, right? And so the struggles of being an online business owner, for the most part, and what I constantly hear from other entrepreneurs are that especially when you're starting out, you're like, am I going the right direction? And am I actually getting anywhere? Like, where is the progress? And that is something that's really hard starting out. You just don't know because you're kind of going off a beaten path, right? You're not doing the traditional path that's been laid out for you. So you're kind of constantly wondering, am I doing this right? Like, what the heck? And I was always feeling that way. I mean, it's such a normal feeling to have. So, the thing that I always recommend is to just slowly chip away and build your skill base a little bit at a time. And I really love the story from The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, where he talks about how the Apollo rocket on its way to the moon was only on course to the moon for about 2 to 3% of its total journey. And so what that translates for us is that's like 10 days a year where you're like perfectly on course. And so I kind of like to remind people that, you're constantly course correcting when you're running an online business. You're trying new things, you're seeing what works, what doesn't work, what's important, what's not important, and you're constantly weaving in and off course until you get there. So keep that in mind. It's totally normal, it's totally natural, but you have an insane amount of resources online now. So what are some of the biggest obstacles new online business owners face? Actually, all online business owners face. Number one is prioritizing time, I would say, anyway. Prioritizing time is really tough when you don't have somebody looking over your shoulder and telling you exactly what you should be doing. So you're going to have to prioritize your time. For me, what helps is having a really clear schedule of what I'm going to do the day before. Every night I plan out what I'm going to do the next day. I don't do it in the morning, so I know what my day looks like. Tackling the biggest, scariest thing first thing, and that has helped me so much with procrastination. I love to make a to-do list and check things off. Like I will even put like showering and eating lunch just so I can get the satisfaction of like crossing out that line item. But those are not the things to be focusing your time on. So really tackling the scariest, biggest thing first will actually help with procrastination significantly. Also, when you prioritize your time, I'm a big advocate of using your most productive hour of the day to bettering you and your business. That might mean mindset work. That might mean setting some time to watch a webinar or a training. But yeah, really making sure you prioritize growing your business and yourself first. Another one is we get really excited when we run an online business to work from home. And I know I did. I was like, woohoo, I'm never wearing pants again. But I have found that that's actually not the best thing for me. So I am most productive when I get up, I do a little workout, do a morning routine, jump in the shower, get ready for the day so I feel really good, and then I go to a co-working space. And as soon as you can afford a co-working space, and also after you've quit your job, I really recommend them. Not only are you going to get out and about and it holds you a little bit more accountable because you're around other people who are working on their businesses, but you're also going to meet people. You're going to meet people who are doing similar things to you or complementary things to you, and that is so important. And that kind of goes to the next thing. That is one of the, obstacles we face as online business owners is finding like-minded people. So many people used to think and still think that what I do and how I work for myself and I'm online, running an online business, they think it's crazy. They think it's impossible. They think it's crazy. They think it's reckless. I mean, I've heard it all. And so it's super important to surround yourself with people who are doing similar stuff than you. They're going to energize you. They're going to inspire you. They're going to give you ideas. I recently went to Bali for 3 months, and that's exactly why I chose Bali. I knew there was a huge entrepreneurship community there. I surrounded myself with like-minded people. I met some incredible people who gave me amazing ideas for my business, and it was all around really inspiring. Obviously, not everybody can go to Bali, and actually, not everybody has really great co-working spaces in their town, especially if you're in a small town. But the great news is because of the internet, you have access to so many online communities that can help you and support you and answer your questions. In fact, I think Facebook groups are one of the most beneficial things and resources online today. You can find a Facebook group for pretty much everything. So there's no excuse to not find like-minded people. You can find them online, and Facebook groups are a great place to start. And then the other main obstacle that all online business owners face is mindset. We all have self-limiting beliefs that really hold us back. And I promise you, if you don't think you can do it to a deep part of your core, if you don't have a little nugget of doubt, like, hey, not doubt, but inspiration that maybe you can do this thing, you know, that is going to really hold you back. It is so much harder if you're being harder on yourself. So taking the time to really focus on your fears, look them in the eye and say, I'm going to do this despite of my fear, and I'm going to put some tools in place to challenge my limiting beliefs. That's going to help you tremendously. There's no need for us to be so hard on ourselves. And I should be taking my own advice here. I'm so hard on myself. I mean, nobody is harder on me than me. So working really hard to just be kinder to yourself and to start believing that you can do it. That is going to be such a tremendous turning point for any online business owner. In fact, if you start reading about entrepreneurship, you're going to see mindset work everywhere. It's absolutely essential. And also remember to celebrate wins. It can be really easy to kind of get in the working phase and to forget to look up and look back and see how far you've come. You know, I do that on a regular basis. Like, for example, just like that story I told you about going home to see my family. I actually made myself take a moment and take it in, because I was like, wow, because I've been working, you know, I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I had to take a moment to be like, wow, that was a huge goal of mine, to not have to be able to turn down family events for my work. And I've achieved it comfortably, you know? So it was good for me to take that moment and to really feel the gratitude for it. And then my last piece of advice for any business owner is that failure is only a failure if you don't learn from it. There is no big, you know, successful business person in this world who does not have a story of failure or rejection. It is part of the process. And yes, it hurts and it stings, but it is always a learning experience, and you will learn so much more with each perceived failure and perceived rejection. I like to call it that because, you know, it really doesn't have to be that if you learn from it. You're going to learn so much more from those tough times than you will from years of just like ongoing success. I promise. It is the biggest lesson as a business owner, is all the times where things don't go right. So I hope that helps. I mean, there are just so many options that are available today that weren't even an option 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. The career landscape is totally changed. Technology is growing exponentially, opening new doors and opportunities everywhere. And I just hope that you open your mind to the possibilities for yourself. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be releasing videos like this weekly. Leave me a comment so I know what you want to see more of. Also, what you're thinking about doing with your own online business. I get most of my best ideas from people who interact with me, so I love to hear from you. And of course, hit that thumbs up button that tells me you want to see more videos like this. Thanks so much, guys.